I recently watched a YouTube video about how your hometown will actually enable you to become a better photographer. I'll link it here. Whoa. And so I wanted to take this afternoon to do a bit of photography around Brisbane, Queensland, to see if I can spread my wings a little bit and also not do the same shit over and over again. I always do 3-quadrant. I always do it, or symmetrical, focal, like center focal point or symmetrical. I always do the same shit over and over again. So I'm gonna try and not do that today. But yeah, I'm gonna go for a little walk and then I'll try to take videos and photos and other stuff. Ooh, look at my paper pen. So the plan was to walk around the South Brisbane area, specifically around the river, and maybe take some shots of the city and pedestrians and whatever. The only problem was that I walked this way to work. I also walked this way to my previous job, and the job before that. And it was also like a hangout area from when I was a child. So I've seen these places every single day of my life almost for the last 15 years. Now, in an attempt to keep this as short as possible, I thought I would just show the photos that I thought came out the best, and also show the originals for those photos, because I feel as though a couple of them are a bit hard to grasp the concept of, or grasp how hard it was to take the shot. And I thought it'd be great to do it to the voice note I left myself after I had this conversation with this guy from Switzerland. He'd been living here for 7 years, and we had a really good conversation about the Brisbane city line. City skyline? Skyline. The city... what's it called? Like, the way that this... I don't care anymore. Standing outside the State Library, and I had a really lovely conversation with a man from Switzerland who asked if I was a professional photographer, and I said absolutely not. But he and I were talking about what I wanted to do for this video, and he said, do you think that Brisbane is an interesting city? And I said, not particularly, especially when it comes to architecture. And I said, it's not a boring city, but it's just that there's nothing really that stands out in terms of buildings. And he completely agreed, and I told him that I really want to do exchange in the Netherlands, and he's like, oh wow, that's a place of architecture then, isn't it? Yeah, it was a really lovely conversation. I love it when people come up and talk like that. It was just really nice, and we were able to sit together and just look at the city line. What do you call it? Yeah, the city, I don't know, what do you call it? the cityscape, or the city, whatever it's called, and just appreciate it for a moment together and try to find not so boring buildings. Telling me that in London they tend to name buildings different things because every building has like a unique perspective, which I am not used to, and I really want to travel to Europe to see that. But I was telling him about the Batman building in Brisbane and the Seabus building. That's pretty much the only two. Everything's a bit phallic otherwise. Anyway, it was a really nice conversation. Thought I'd show. That's pretty much it for my little adventure. Hope you enjoyed. I've got one last photo, and I thought it was a bit cringe because people were looking at me while I was doing it, but I never have photos of myself, so I might as well do it. Anyway, if you enjoyed, do all that sort of thing,
Thanks so much. I'll see you around. Bye.